All right, go. Yo, what the fuck is going
announcement,
on?
you know?
So, welcome back to Kilimanjaro Podcast, everyone.
Back at it again.
I haven't seen him for like a month and a half now.
Yeah, man, it's been a long
I
time.
didn't even know that until you said it.
Yeah, no, I've really just clocked it, man. It's been long, man. But yeah, back again.
Yeah, it's because CJ's on a hiatus right now, you know what I mean? He's just straight beat making right now. He's editing the podcast. All of the shit that you see is mainly from him still.
Look at
So,
I've just been literally on my PC, on my ones.
Yeah.
Look how dusty my beard
bro,
is,
you've
like,
grown it out a little bit, man.
I need a haircut, man.
Yo, rate his beard on the scale of 1 to 10, you know. It's looking dusty, no?
Get it, dusty beard.
Give me like a full left and right. Ooh, okay. 8.5.
8.5. Yeah.
There you go.
You're too
That's
generous.
too generous.
Yeah,
I'll give it like a 3 at the moment. Like, bro, come on, like the cars are curling right now, you know.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, Tina, it's been time. So what do you want to say to the people? Like, obviously they fucked with your episode before, engaging with the rules like tremendously and that. So what do you want to say to the people? Like,
I just want to say I'm so happy for the people that did watch it, that did listen to it, that did give feedback and, you know, talk to us or comment or message me separately, maybe message you guys separately about it.
yeah.
I just think it's really cool that people did that just because, like, for me, I hate listening to myself. I don't watch myself. I don't do any of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, people like some of my friends, they'll watch it and then they'll come to me or like next time we hang out, they'll be like, oh yeah, I saw your podcast. I'm like, really? Like you guys watched it? Like that's so sweet. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. The feeling's good.
Yeah, but it is like so cringy to hear your own voice back, especially when you haven't done it a lot.
Definitely, man.
Like,
Definitely.
especially when I'm editing it. Like, I only edit like what 1 in 5.
Yeah.
I'd say something like that. And like when I edit it, I have to like stop for a bit and just like get away from the sound of my own voice. It's disgusting. You know, especially before. You know, before I was kind of like a little bit timid with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, kind of like trying to insert your point.
Same for me as well. Now I can say that as well. I hate hearing myself.
Yeah, it's like the worst. I like can't because I feel like oh, you looked a little bit like nervous on the podcast because they would like watch the videos and then I would be like, yeah, like I know I was nervous. It was my first time and everything. So that was like one thing that I like made sure for this one. I was like, okay, don't look nervous. Like just be very, you know, chill. Like don't think too much about it.
Yeah.
So that's
now you thought about your answers like a lot. I could feel like. Especially,
yeah.
But it's good. Like you had to take your time. It's your first time. Like we had so many people on, and so many people were worse than you. So much so that we shouldn't have to that. Yeah. And like we're not going to put like I think many episodes. So maybe in the future, if you guys are still watching and you guys are subscribing, like click that button, obviously. Then we might release the unreleased shit, but like in clips, obviously, because you know some of the stuff isn't PC. And,
yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, people had questions for you. I don't think we'll start with that. I mean, we can start with this one because it kind of like relates back to the first one. Like, how do you make friends when you're in a new school or country? Like, how do you acclimate yourself?
So the way that I do it is I like to join student organizations, maybe whatever I'm interested in. Like I joined the dance team when I transferred to Iowa.
Yeah.
And whatever I liked, or I would just go to like free events. Like if they had like something where it's like, oh, like they'll give out cookies or they'll give out pizza and I'll be like, okay, like let me go. I'll get like a free treat with it.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And then I guess like just organizations help a lot. Like we have like ISA here, which is like Indian Student Association.
Yeah.
And then we also have one more, SASA. So it's like South Asian Student Association. So I would join like every single thing that I like felt like I would belong into and just kind of go off of there. I'll go to the meetings and then I'll make friends. And then there will also be like newer people just like me. They're like, oh, like you transferred, I transferred too. Like, why don't we hang out? Let's, you know, get each other's numbers, stuff like that. So
why do you think people struggle to make friendships? Because obviously you find it easy, right? Like you're talking about it like I'm a socialite and I just kind of like force myself to go to these things. Maybe there's a little incentive and all of that, but why do you think people don't do that? Or what do you think holds them back?
For me, it's like the way I talk about it, it seems easy, but it's not. Like in person, I'm also very, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to go. Like, I don't know anyone. Like, I'm gonna look like such a loner. But then I'll talk to people and I'll like my friends, I'll tell them and they'll like hype me up. They'll be like, no, like go, like, dude, no, if it's bad, like just come back. Like go for 10 minutes, go for 5 minutes, just see how it is. Then if you like it, stay. If you don't like it, just come back. Um, but I think it's the whole idea of forcing yourself. Like I try to force myself as much as I can just because I don't like that. I think we talked about it before, but I don't like that what if feeling where it's like, what if I went? What if, I did this? And like I don't like that. I don't like the guilt. So I try to go. I force myself. Sometimes I like tell myself like, okay, if I go to this thing and I don't like it, I'll treat myself after. I'll go get a smoothie, I'll go get a cookie, I'll go get Starbucks.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like give myself like a little treat. So then it's like, okay, I have to go. So I think
when you say that, yeah, it just reminds me of like how they gave like pizzas and stuff like that to get vaccines and shit.
Oh yeah,
that was so funny to me. Like, what the fuck were they doing? It's a good mindset that you have to force yourself because not many people would do that. And what would you say for those people? Because some people just want to be introverted.
Yeah, introverted, isn't it? Like that's a massive step.
And they know they need friends in order to like coexist with the ecosystem, but they don't force themselves because they're so scared or like the anxiety eats at them. And like, to be honest with you, I can't relate to those people that much because I've not really been in those situations.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. Can you kind of relate to that like introverted feeling of like, I don't really.
Yes and no.
I don't really like people.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Like, when I started uni, I wasn't like, obviously I was on my ones, but at the same time, I had the kind of mindset where, I'm gotta put myself out there a bit.
Yeah.
To like actually, make some friends and get my name out there, innit?
Yeah. I think what I've noticed is a lot of introverts find other introverts somehow. Because like I'll see people that like don't go out too much, don't really like, socializing too much, but they'll have their one like set friend group and they'll be with them throughout college or throughout life. And they do their own thing. They're very like, they're very low key. I don't know how they do it, but I like it. I always notice them. I'm like, I see you guys. But I think college is the best time to kind of push yourself and be a different person just because I think that's when people start evolving a lot. I've noticed from high school to college, there's a big difference in people. Like in high school, people are shy, people are, only school, like nothing else. Then as soon as they get to college, they're like going out, they're doing this, they're doing that. I'm like, good for you. Like I've noticed, like I see the difference. So I think college is
like that for you, kind of thing.
It was a little bit.
I actually introverted before, or like.
I think
you can't have always been this bubbly. Like you can't have been like, yeah, let me just hop on a random podcast with two guys who you don't even know.
No, I wasn't like this before. I think in high school I was very like school, and just like dance. I was very focused on dance.
Yeah, of course.
And my parents were kind of strict. So like I could not go out to parties. Like I think my curfew was 10. Like certain like until a certain age, it was 10. Then it went to 11. And I never used to sneak out. Like I started sneaking out later, but in high school, I was so terrified. I was like, I'm not going to go to I wanted to go to parties. I wanted to hang out. I wanted to, experiment and like do different things.
Yeah. Because you see everyone having these endorphin rushes. You're like, I want to get some of that,
Yeah, like I just, I wanted to like see how it was, see if I like it, if I don't. But I never really had that just because like my parents were strict. And then they got like super lenient senior year of high school. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. But they were like, okay, you can do whatever you want, go out, whatever. So then like I would come home at 1, 2, and like they wouldn't really say much. And then I would tell them like, hey, I'm gonna go to a party. There's a birthday party. There's this, there's that. Then they were like, oh, okay, like, like I've noticed like you've been going out a lot. I'm like, yeah, well, like now that I have the chance, like I'm gonna go out. And I noticed myself like shifting, like before I used to be an introvert. I used to always be at home, whatever. And then I noticed, I was like, I really like going out. I really like talking to people, meeting new people. But in the beginning, it was hard because like I didn't know how to like strike conversations. I didn't know how to just like, start talking to other people. And then I think as I watched other people do it, I was like, okay, like that's what I need to say, or like that's how I need to act, or like that's how I need to do
monkey do kind of shit, yeah.
Yeah, no, literally, I had this one friend in high school. She was so social. Like she can talk to anyone and everyone. I was the one that was like the side person that did not say a word, that like no one noticed, you know? And then so I would see how she would talk, and she would be very well, like she would talk, I don't even know how, but like figure out a way to, you know, jump in and keep it going. So that when I was on my own, like, you know, me and her like kind of separated after time. And then when I was like on my own, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to do what she does. I'm going to try to talk like her. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do that. And it worked. I think that's what helped me in college, is make friends and just kind of push myself, because it's like no one really is going to remember any embarrassing moments about you. No one's going to remember if you came to that thing or if you didn't go.
Yeah.
So why not just go see how it is? And you don't even have to go for like a long amount of, like a long period of time. Go for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you don't like it, just go back. So
yeah, my friend does it like this dating coach thing, you know, Harsh. Yeah. So he does this like dating coach thing where basically he's like, listen, you can go to a party, but just make sure you talk to like X amount of people, right? And then you can get X amount of contacts, and then you can leave. Even if it takes half an hour or it takes 3 hours, but you have to get that number. You know, so maybe that's the metric that people have if they're trying to make friends as well.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing, like you said, like people forget after 10 minutes. People do social experiments, and then after like what, a day or so, they'll forget about them.
What you're talking about, it's kind of like that mentality where it's like, you know, when you're trying to get something done, and you're saying, okay, instead of thinking about the massive goal, let me do it bit by bit, like stage by stage. It's kind of like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, you know, don't worry about, you know, you need to do this at the party, you need to do this, you need to be this person.
But everyone worries about it.
Yeah.
Why do people worry about that stupid shit?
Just
human, right? Because people just don't like to feel that embarrassment feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or like, for example, me and my friends are now practicing this, where we're not doing it together necessarily. We're actually going on our own to like Nando's, for example, and just sitting there on our own and just seeing if we can like cope with the fact that like people are staring at you, whatever, and you're on your ones. You look like you're a loner, basically, right? But if you put yourself in that scenario, you'll be fine. In the same way where, and then you can start to like enjoy your own company. In the same way where like obviously you, Tina, was at home and basically needed to stay at home because you had a curfew and stuff. Only focus on that because your parents were strict. And then you now see how the grass is greener on the other side, and now you're more motivated to be like your friend.
Yes.
You know? And it's funny how she says like, oh yeah, I actually like took on board what my friend did and used it, because not many people would admit that. But I think a lot of introverts, or like people who started as introverts, was with like an extroverted person and like coasted for a bit just to like learn the ropes a little bit.
Yeah,
it's good to do. That's just in life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you're growing in life, you're gonna have people you look up to, and you're gonna kind of mold yourself, whether you know it or don't, or it's just happening subconsciously. Isn't it? You're just gonna mold yourself from that person.
Well, I feel like everything you do in life is because you saw it somewhere, or you saw someone doing it. You know, there's all these ideas that we think we come up with. I feel like it's like from everyone that you see, you kind of incorporate it yourself. So like that's what I did. Like I used to see what she would do. I used to, you know, see how she would talk, all of that. And when I was alone, I didn't have anyone next to me. I was the only person. I was like, all right, let me try this. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll try something else. But you know, it helped.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's sick. Because like I think obviously I've done it. Like especially like where we were at school, right? I definitely did it bears, bro. Like I hung out with people specifically because they like knew how to like handle themselves around people, and I was like, I didn't know how to do that just yet. And obviously in uni, that's when we were all able to be like, okay, now we're in our own melting pots, where no one from previous can see what we're doing. So now we can just do it without the sort of judgment from those people who already have a vision of us, you know, that we're now changing. Because it's just like when we have reunions with people, right? Like how different are they compared to how they were, and how different are we, and therefore how awkward are some of those interactions. You know, obviously you get comfortable after a while, innit? Like they're your boy, you get me?
No, but it's that initial you get thrown off guard, isn't it? Like you have that expectation of what they're gonna be like, based on like
it's like totally different.
Yeah. And then literally when you hear them speak and when you see them, you're just like,
yeah. Yeah, like I know some people who are like thriving and then they like completely like not messed up their life, but they're like kind of coasting, doing like bar jobs and stuff like that. And that's cool, obviously. Like everyone has their like timing, their process, right? Yeah. But then there's some people who I was like, you're gonna go absolutely nowhere. You know what I mean? And like I can say that now because they've reached a height that's way surpassed me. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at them like, oh shit, maybe it's because you were like this introverted person who was kind of like honing in their academia and then like going for the right jobs and then like investing in the right things. And then when they're working in the shadows and then they come out of the shadows, we're just like, what the fuck has happened? Like, who are you know?
Yeah.
No, but that's what we need. We need those examples again so that we can like sort of follow that blueprint.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Even people that like I don't talk to anymore, I still see their social media or I see videos, whatever they post, TikToks, and I'll be like, you know what? Like I'm gonna try doing that next time. I'm gonna try this. Like if you just learn from everyone you see and anything you see, like you always are gonna pick up one thing or something. Yeah.
It's weird seeing other people on Instagram who you don't talk to or you've cut off communication with. It's weird to see that, because like they're like a DM away from like reconnecting with you, and you're just like, fuck that. I mean, you have the thought. Everyone has these thoughts, man. But then we just ignore it. Why do you think we just ignore it? Like, even if we wanted to, let's say we wanted to, because we won't talk about the ones, what I'm saying. We won't like thoughts on that. But like, let's say the people who we want to reach out to that we don't. Why do you think we don't do that? Is it because we're like too busy with life, like we have too many commitments, or is it because we're just finding excuses? Like,
both, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, do you have an example of that recently? Anyone, any of you? Opening.
I have recently I have had this happen. So there's one girl and I used to be really close in high school.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. I think she said she needed like space from me. And so I was like, okay, like I don't know, but it's like it's fine. It's whatever. Everyone has their
Leave me alone, Tina.
Yeah,
your bubbly energy is too much for me right now. You're making me too excited. Slow down,
Well, I think I took it a different way where it's like, okay, you want space, like, but we'll come back together like in a little bit. And we just never came back together. Like it's been years, but we still have each other on social media. And recently, and it's like it's kind of like a little bit weird, I guess, when I see certain posts because I'm like, oh, like we don't talk, but we still have each other on social media. But she did recently follow me on TikTok, and I don't know how she found me. I don't know, maybe I popped up on her For You page, and she followed me, and I was questioning, like I was like why are you following me if we don't talk anymore? We're not friends. Like because that space that you needed, I didn't need it. You needed it. And now you're gonna follow me on TikTok. I was very confused, but I was like, it's fine. Like it's whatever. Maybe she thought of it in a different way. Maybe I thought of it in a different way. But we never like talked to each other about it afterwards. So I think I mean, I have thought about reaching out, but I think it's like just being scared of like getting the answer. It's like, what is the answer? You never know. It could be anything.
Yeah, especially because like she asked for the space, you feel like she's obliged to then reach out, and if you reach out, are you overstepping?
Yeah, because like if I told someone, hey, I need space from you, but then let's say years later I add them on like social media, I'm pretty sure they would be like, why are you doing this? Aren't you the one that told me you needed space?
And there's things like that that's happened to me. Like obviously, one of my exes from like years ago followed me on stuff on like TikTok, and then like she reached out like shortly afterwards. But in my head, I was like, why are you following me now? Like it's been 7 years, but like really and truly, they're doing that to poke you so that you can look at that and be like, why are they following me? Or be like, oh, maybe they're trying to reach out. Let me do it. So they're basically saying like, okay, you do the work so I don't have to.
Yeah.
Because everyone's stubborn basically. And like we live in this individualistic world, right? Where we're like, we don't care about like many other people because we can't hold on to all of these shopping bags, innit? Like we can't do that. Like we have to focus on like our close friends who have shown us time and time again that they're there for us. Yeah. And in turn we can reciprocate that energy. But yeah, if people are like that, if people are like, oh, I need space, and then don't make any effort to reconvene, then I guess you shouldn't, because then are you respecting yourself? That's probably what you'd be asking yourself, right?
Exactly, because I'm very confused in the moment, because it's like I don't know what I did wrong. If I knew what I did wrong, then yes, I could make amends and we could start over. But I feel like so much time has gone by where it's like she's doing her own thing, I'm doing my own thing, that I don't have the energy anymore to kind of reach out and try to fix it. Just because it's like so much time has gone, so many different things have happened, and she's definitely not the same person that she used to be. I'm not the same person that I used to be. Um, I don't know if our personalities would match again. Like, who knows? We don't know. But it's weird because here and there, like, we both still like DM each other or like react to each other's Instagram stories or Instagram posts as if nothing happened. Like, as if like there was no
So
like
funny.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the front-facing perception can't be the same as what's really happening.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, we don't ever bring it up. Like, here and there, like I'll comment, I'll be like, hey, you look really good. And here and there she'll like randomly slide up and she'll be like, hey, like I really like that outfit. But
Yeah.
like that's it. Like that's it. There's no more. We don't go more in depth. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's just how it happens, isn't it? Because you still have to have that self-respect, you know what I mean? You can't like yeah, you can't allow them to sort of like pick apart your morals and shit, basically. And you would be doing that. So yeah, it's interesting, but it happens and it's going to continue happening because people want to run with a narrative, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they probably want to come across like, they do fuck with you still. And they probably do fuck with you.
Yeah.
Like, that's evident in what you said. But it's just like
It's like you said, how like they fuck with me, I fuck with them, but it's only to a certain limit. Like
yeah.
I fuck with you, but only until that point. After that, that's it. Like, like we don't cross each other's lines, we don't cross each other's borders or anything. So it's kind of like that. But I guess as I've gotten older, I've realized that's just how life is, and there's nothing bad about it. Like, people have their own things, we all have our own things, and we just know where to put certain types of energy into.
Yeah, you really focus on like where you put your energy and stuff, huh?
Yeah, I like to. I really do. Yeah. I just
Have
feel
you
like
like read stuff about it, or have you just become more aware of like where you
I
put your energy and stuff, or
I think it was both. I think I did read a little bit about it, and then I also just noticed myself, like, I would drain myself sometimes putting energy in places that I didn't need to or didn't want to. And then as I got older, I'm like, I don't need to do all of this. Like, I don't have to talk to this person. I don't have to reach out. I'm bad at keeping in touch with people. And I know Shivang, like my boyfriend, he's super good at keeping in touch, but that, like, me keeping in touch, like, drains me. For him, it doesn't. He's good at it. But then I realized, I'm like, I don't need to do it if it's draining for me. Like, I'm not gonna, if I see you, I'll talk to you. But if I don't see you, I don't need to, like, I don't need to keep up with
exactly.
Yeah. So like certain things like that. And then I also realized, I don't even know where I read it, but I think it was like TikTok or something. It's just it depends where you put your energy. Like, it shows there's a difference in certain places that you put your energy and where you don't. Why would you put your energy in something that's not benefiting you rather than saving that energy and using it later on to something that does benefit you?
Yeah, exactly. And you could just track back to the analogy that you were talking about like you could look at the whole mountain, or you could look at the different steps that you can take in order to get there, right? So yeah, cool. I'm gonna quickly segue to, they say respect your elders, but what do you think about getting respect back? And the reason why I bring that question up now is because you sort of implied that you're a people pleaser, right? So you like to really like reach out to people and stuff like that, or maybe like make them feel good at all times, kind of thing. Did that come from like your parents and stuff because they were strict and you were like trying to keep the peace?
I think so, but I think as like years have gone by, I'm not as much of a people pleaser, just
Yeah.
because I give people, like, I give them time, whatever. Like, if they don't reach out to me and I don't reach out to them, for me it's not like in my head where it's like, oh my God, is something wrong? Like, did something
Yeah,
happen?
you don't think
Like,
like
yeah, I already put it in my head. It's like, it's life. She's probably going through something. I'm going through something. Maybe she's
yeah.
just busy. Like, it's not a big deal. And I think when I was younger, for me, it used to be like, oh, you have to like keep in touch to be close. You have to do this. And now, like all my friends, sometimes we don't talk for like maybe a week or two, and like we'll pick back up as if like nothing happened. Like we'll pick back up, we'll be like, hey, how is this? How is that? Like tell me all about it. And I think people pleasing was what was draining me before. And I think I realized that. And so now I don't do it. I'll please you if you come to me and ask for it, but if you don't ask for it, if you don't need it, I'm not gonna put my energy to somewhere that doesn't need to be needed. Like that person, he or she, whatever, if they don't need me to like please them, they can do it themselves. Like I already know in my head, like you got it, you are good, but if you do need me, I'll be here. Yeah. But going back to what you were saying, like respect your elders and like getting respect back, I would say I feel like that's more about like in our like Indian tradition and everything. You know how it's like they always say, always respect your elders no matter what. Even if they do like the worst things to you or your family, you always have to respect them no matter what. Yeah. And I've noticed recently there's been like a big shift where there's like more what is it called? Like they're trying to make people more aware that also elders need to respect like us, like younger, like youngsters and everything. So I think that's like a big thing that really needs to change more. It's getting there. It's a little bit, but it's not as much as it should be. And me and my parents have like arguments about this all the time because she'll be like my mom, she'll be like, no, like you have to like respect your elder. You have to respect, your uncle, your aunt, all of this. But then I'm like, but they say stuff to me that I don't like. Like, why should I respect them? But in like their mentality, it's more like, no, you, no matter what, like you're younger, you need to like respect them. But where is my respect? Like, I need that too.
Yeah. But that's the issue, right? Like I think you kind of like go through life in like different cycles, right? So like I think that when you're a kid, obviously you have to respect them because they kind of have power over you, right? And then there's always that point where you're like in your 20s where you're like, okay, now I can push back on stuff like that. I can like, if you're saying something that goes against the boundaries that I've learned through my experiences in the outside world, then I will push back no matter what kind of thing. Then you reach a mutual ground and then you'll be like 30, then you have your own family. Then you'll be like, okay, I've gone through all of this life and I've like taken the bullshit from my parents, so I have to like pass it down. It's like a tradition. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. That's the cycle. It's like when you're 50, you're too lazy to do most things if you don't work out and stuff like that. The likelihood is you won't because you're tired, because you raise kids or whatever. And then you start demanding things. But I mean, I think that, it just depends on like your life circumstances. But most people do kind of follow that cycle, and it's up to us to stop that cycle from happening. Because at the end of the day, like we're like, adults now, you know what I'm saying? So we have to kind of like carry that forward and not be those 50-year-old uncles who are on the chair basically like asking for every little thing.
Nice.
Get up and get it yourself, you know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like, man. It's like, don't ask me for a fork when you're next to the forks and I'm like over here somewhere, you know what I mean? I'm upstairs in my room and you're asking me to get something from the top shelf downstairs. I don't care. Go and jump on the fucking table yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it feels sometimes. But like, the truth of the matter is, it's like we can't just let them step on us, because then we'll take that into the outside world and then we'll get stepped on and then we'll feel twice as resentful for it.
Yeah. I feel like there are some parts of some elements that we should respect, obviously.
Yeah, elders, of course, yeah.
But yeah, you obviously they you're not, it's gonna happen every generation. You're not gonna necessarily agree 100% with what they tell you and what they expect from you, because different times and all that.
But, the normalities change through the different time periods. Yeah,
it's just about like taking bits, I guess.
No, it's a hard one to figure out, but like the way that we enable them to have that respect is basically to like voice your opinions before it's too late. If you get them used to you not voicing your opinions when they've stepped over a boundary, they're going to keep on doing it. That goes for like every relationship that you have. Now hopefully like the people who are watching have parents out there who like they can actually talk to and voice their opinions.
Yeah.
And if you can do that and you're not doing it, then guess who's to blame? You.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think people just have to like bear that in mind when they're asking for respect. Like there's certain things that you have to do in order to make sure that they know that that's what you need.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, with your friend, if you wanted to let them know, that listen, like why are you following me when I'm doing this? Like you don't want to say that because it makes you sound like a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you could be like, hey, I just wanted to reach out again. Like, you know, you could say like a little story post or whatever. Like she posts on a story, you could be like, hey, by the way, we should like catch up and stuff like that. And if she says no, just like leave her alone forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, you could let them know, right? Like there are steps, and if you've chosen the course where you're like, I'm not gonna do that, now you made the decision. Now you have to live with it. And if you can't live with it, it's cool.
No, yeah, that's true. I mean, I think the place that we're both at is fine. I don't think we need to kind of intertwine any more than it already has been. Because I'm not going to be the one that takes the first step because I didn't know what I did wrong in the beginning. So I'm content. I'm very happy. I'm satisfied with all my friends. I'm very, I'm good. So it's like she's good too. So I think
it's not that you're lacking, right? And the thing is, like, you come across with a sense of like, there is nothing that I would do to make myself come across as needy. Like, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think we're probably all at that point where we're like, we don't want to like come across as needy. Therefore, we have these boundaries to protect ourselves from like coming across like that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Or like asking for sympathy. No one likes to like receive sympathy. I hate to receive sympathy. Like, fucking call me fat. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would want. Embarrassing moment. I feel like we spoke about that before. So let's talk about Icks. What do you think about Icks? Like, what are your Icks? Top 5.
You just read my mind. It was so weird. I just thought about it right now, like while we were talking about Icks.
Because it's trendy, man. People have the stupidest Icks, man.
Yeah.
What ick is it?
I understand.
Ick is an ick in itself.
Yeah. Okay, wait. I have a question. Do you both have Icks for girls?
Too much promiscuity, man. Like, you know, I don't want you to be ran through. That's it. That's all it is for me. That's the biggest ick. Hands down.
If you've got a part of like some dodgy stuff.
Yeah, if you've done too much, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit
like explore the world, but not too much. You know what I mean? Like,
where you've got like a reputation.
If you have a reputation, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. Not educated. Maybe speaking more like a chap. So like before, like I would hang around with like mainly roadmen, innit?
Yeah.
Basically, I don't want my girl to sound like them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what I want. So it's just like speak with some sort of like eloquence, you know.
Yeah.
So those are my 2. What about you? You got 2 now.
All right. I guess, okay, I agree about the reputation one. Definitely. That's like a big thing. If you're, everyone has their, like, your name is in everyone's mouth, definitely don't want that.
Yeah.
But of course, a certain level, it's like you can explore. I get it. You're young. Like, you had your time, you had your phases. That's fine. So that was one of them. And then I guess other icks would be, I guess for guys, definitely like hygiene. Some guys are not hygienic. And it's like, it's kind of, that's an ick. And that's not even like, I don't even think it's like out of the ordinary. That's something that every male, female, every person on this earth needs to know about their hygiene. That's one thing. Another one, I would say, having their room dirty when a girl comes over.
Yeah, 100%.
That's one thing where it's like the first
time.
Why
would you do that? Why would you do that? Yeah, that's like when she comes over as well. Like, come on, like even if your room's dead, like you definitely be up there for like 2 hours. When a girl's coming over, no girl's coming over here actually. That's my I have parents over here. That's never gonna happen. But like, like if I had my own shit, then obviously that would be patterned up.
Yeah, definitely.
Another thing, if they're like super, super cheap, where they don't want to pay certain things, or like they're just like not it's like, okay, I get it. If you don't have money, that's fine. But then don't like go to like a 5-star restaurant expecting 5-star service and then being super cheap with it. I think that's like
that makes sense. The way she said it made sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like, pick your poisons, you get me? Go to chicken porridge, you know what I'm saying?
There was like this one time I know this one person, he's like in IT or something, makes 6 figures, makes really good money.
Yeah.
And like certain times, like he would, I don't even know how to explain it. It was just like certain things, certain things you have to spend a certain amount of money on. I get it. You want to be cheap. Certain things you could be cheap in. I'm cheap too. I'm brown. Of course I'm gonna be like cheap in certain things. But then certain things I'm like, okay, you can't leeway into it. You have to like do it one way or no way. Like you can't just do it your way. So not even just this particular guy, but there's just been people that I've met in life and they're just like, they have money or like they have like, they have everything, but they just don't want to spend it on things that are necessary. And then they want to spend it on random stuff. And I'm like, why? It's just, I don't know. It was after that, I was like, all right, like guys that are cheap, no. And like, okay, compared to girls and guys, I think it's more where girls are more cheaper than guys. But guys, I just feel like, certain things they should spend money on. And at least, especially if you're going on like a first date or like, hanging out with a girl that you're like dating or like it's in the beginning stage, I think you should kind of, spend a little bit more money and not do certain things.
Yeah, no, and I think in the first day you kind of have to pay for it, and like low key, like I come from a place where it's like, I'm trying to split everything low key. Like I am trying to split everything, even if it's like a really nice dinner, it will still be a nice spend on a first day. But then after that, I kind of want them to be like, okay, ask me if that's another ick for me actually. If you're like not asking and we've been on like 4 days and you haven't asked me once, that's crazy. Like, what do you do with your life? Like, come on.
No, I agree. I think first date for sure. I do expect, someone else to pay for me on the first date. Just I think it depends who asks to go out. I guess if I were the one to ask to go
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I would pay if it was the first time. I'm like, hey, you want to go get ice cream? You want to go here? I would pay. But usually it's the guys that usually ask girls. Like very rarely is it girls that ask. And and like I remember like once I went out on a date and we went to like a pizza spot and he put his card down to pay and then I put my card down to see if he would be like, hey, no, it's on me, and he didn't say anything. And I was like,
bad man.
It's not like I didn't want to pay. Yeah, it's not like I didn't have money, I didn't want to pay. I put my card down, but I was just like, you're kind of the one who asked me.
Yeah.
But whatever. And then after that, I was like, all right, like ick, red flag.
Yeah, never seen you kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just like I just can't. And then I've had like a bunch of other friends who are just like super like they have money, they want to spend it on certain things. Like they want to spend it on themselves, but they don't want to spend it on other people.
Yeah.
And like one of this guy that like me and like a bunch of other people used to be friends with, he would like want to go out on all these trips and like want to travel and do everything, but he would not contribute the same amount that we would, or like that the whole group would. We would be putting our cards down more than he would. He would probably do like once a day, whereas we would be doing 5-6 times a day. And like after that once a day, he'll be like, oh, I'm done. Like, in his head, he's like, oh, I put my card down once, I'm done. But it's like, no, like you kind of have to like, trade off. But
that's the thing, because you can look at that and you can look at it in two ways. You could be like, okay, this guy's like a cheap fuck and he's not even contributing. Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Or he could be like, he's just someone who like doesn't have it and feels obliged to go with the group because otherwise he'll be left out. And he's so scared of being left out that he's gonna be somewhere where he probably would go above his means. And now he has to be a dick in order to like make that happen.
No, but it wasn't even like
there are a lot of people like that.
No, that's true. But it for this particular person, it wasn't even like, oh, he wanted to follow the group and like not say anything about his financial situation. No, he would tell us, like he'd be like, oh yeah, like I made this much money like from like sports betting.
Yeah.
he would tell us, he'd be like, oh, I just got this. Like, I can't wait. I'm going to pay for, I want to get this thing for my house, or like, I want to get this thing for my sister, all that stuff. I'm like, good for you. But like, when we go out, also, you have to like, not put everything on us. Like
we're also, someone who's boasting about money and then you see that they're not contributing, that's when you're like, fuck you, bro.
Yeah.
And I would have this friend in uni actually, and I would cover him like on almost every night out, bro. Like almost every night out, I'd cover him, and it was because he was like younger and like he treated me like a bit like a big brother kind of thing, and I was like, oh, let me just play into this a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And like there was obviously benefits for me too. I can't lie. Like he would set certain scenarios up for me and all of that, so it did benefit me. But you kind of look at that and you're like, okay, you're buying a Miri jeans, bro, and you're telling me to, do a club entry for you. Like, come on, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Miri jeans are like 300, 400. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's another thing that I'm like, can't do that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Have you guys seen like the Icks where it's like when a guy is chasing a ping pong ball when they're playing like cup pong or beer pong? Have you guys seen?
Yeah.
I don't understand some of those Icks because I'm like, that's like everyone does it. Like that's a normal thing.
You're on you're on like a bicycle and then you fall over. That's an ick. Like why are you on the floor? Get up.
But it's like you can't control that.
Yeah. No, but I feel like they are just like they're memes, right? Like the whole ick thing is just a meme thing now.
Yeah, I mean, there are people out there with like some really weird like expectations that are just a bit it's a bit unrealistic, isn't it? Like if you're playing ping pong and the ping pong ball falls, like what are you supposed to do? It's like game over now, isn't it? I can't pick it up. The game's over. Let's just walk.
No, but I think she's referring to like when they chase it awkwardly, like.
Yeah, when they chase
it. They get the ball like,
Yeah, I mean, but what are you meant to do there, innit?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing there is like, just don't look awkward, basically. If I see you looking awkward or I catch you lacking, like, that's game over.
How would you walk to, how would you get the ball?
They have a very small threshold, innit?
Yeah.
For like that kind of like stuff that happens,
Like certain things you can't control. There was one
people say those things. So I feel like girls go on dates with guys who they're not really feeling. And then they say that the guy has an ick. And that ick now justifies her from like never speaking to him again. I feel like it could work like that in their favor. You know what I mean? That's a smart way to play an ick. And I feel like that's what happens, man.
That's true, yeah.
It's an easier way to reject people.
Yeah. There was one where it was like a guy like was taking this girl out and I guess he couldn't find a parking spot. And because he could not find a parking spot, that became her ick. And she was like, drop me home. Like, what? It was like, I was like, okay, certain things, I get it. They can be an ick, but are there other things like you can't control it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know how you want to answer this question, but someone sent it to you. What do you think about date night? How should date night go? How often should you? I don't know how you want to answer this question.
Okay, so I some couples or some people don't really care about date night, but I think
when you're already established in a relationship, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like some people forget, they're like, oh, we don't care about it. We're already like 2-3 years into our relationship, whatever. But it's like, I think date nights are really crucial. No matter how long you've been together for, whatever the situation, you have kids, you have 10 kids, you have no kids, nothing. I think date nights are very crucial. What about you guys? Do you guys think they're crucial?
Have you been in a long-term relationship like that?
Are you calling me out?
No, I'm just saying. Have you been?
Not a long run, but no, I do feel like it is.
You've had sprints.
Yeah.
Let's call it sprints.
Let's just call it sprints.
Yeah.
But I know, you've got a point. It is like it keeps the relationship like alive, innit? In a sense.
Yeah. And it's like
if you just don't do anything different in the bedroom like for like 5 years. Like how do you expect it to remain fiery? How do you expect it to happen? It's the same with dating, right? Like you do need to see the beautiful side of life together so that you can be like, okay, these are the memories that we're sharing, and you kind of need to pop that up. in the same way that you need to top up like nights where you're just chilling. You know, you need to have both of those things. Like if you're just focusing on your work and then you're just like falling asleep and you're not doing any like sort of like movie night or like cooking dinner or something different, then it's just gonna feel monotone. You know, and then you're gonna end up resenting the other person for it. And then it's gonna be like that thing where it's like we're not speaking about it, we're not addressing it, so now it's just become stale, and then like one person is gonna phase out. That's what's gonna happen. Is that why you say it's crucial?
Yeah, I think it's very crucial because at least from like what I've experienced where like the guy doesn't really care about date nights. In the past, not right now, but where the guy doesn't care about date nights. But like me, I'm the one that's like, hey, like, you know, we should go to date night. We should go out. Like, you know, and it's not something that should be talked about. Like we shouldn't have a conversation about, hey, we should like we need to go on dates. Like that's not a thing. Like for my current relationship, we don't ever talk about it. We're like, hey, this Friday, let's go out. Let's go, you know, let's dress up, whatever. Let's go to a fancy restaurant or like let's try this new place we've never eaten. But then there's also relationships where it's like they don't talk about it, they don't do it. And like I would say girls mostly like date nights. I don't know, maybe guys, you guys might equally like it too. But I feel like mostly girls want more date nights. Like they love going out, they like dressing up, they like, you know, taking pictures, going to cute spots, drinking different drinks. And like, yeah. And I've been in the relationship.
Come on.
Like I've been in the past where it's like I have to beg and be like, hey, like, you know, next month, like you take me out. Like I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't have to tell you what to do. You should already know. So I think it's very crucial. And I think it's like I think I would say I would do around like 1 to 2 times a month, maybe a date night. Yeah, like it's nothing like nothing crazy. Not every week. I don't think I could do every weekend. No, but I would say 1 to 2 times. Not that, you know, whenever we're stressed out from work or whatever, we're like, hey, let's get out of the house. Let's, you know, eat some food. Let's talk about anything that we can talk about that we don't talk about in the house.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just you don't want it to be like a high maintenance thing. You just want it to be like a, you know, let's share this. Let's just like break up the week or break up the month, right? And I think it's just even better when you're like, okay, I did this in my relationships and I feel like I want to do it in like my next one whenever that happens. I want to do like one date night for like I'll cover it, one date night you cover it. I feel like that works perfectly.
Yeah. That's
then it's like I feel like if you take that element out of it where it's like the guy is paying for all of the date nights, if you take that element out of it, then I think guys are going to be excited for date nights because when a guy's wallet isn't like hurting, he's gonna be excited to be there. You know what I mean? Because then you feel like, okay, I'm not losing anything from this relationship. In fact, like I'm just gaining experiences.
Yeah.
You know, because I would have bought my meal anyways. You know what I mean? So.
No, that's true. Yeah, me and Shivang, we split up our date nights. Like we'll be like, you know, I'll be like, hey, like I'll tell him, I'll be like, okay, where do you want to go? Like we'll do whatever you want to do, and I'll pay for, you know, the whole night or whatever. And I'll be like, we'll do whatever you want to do. It's your date night. It's your day. And then there will be times where it's my day. He'll be like, where do you want to go? What places have like you really want to check out? We'll go there, and he'll be like, it's on me. Like it's, you know, it's our date night. So like, yeah, we split off because obviously it's like I think after a certain point in the relationship shouldn't be only the guy paying, the girl should pay as well. And like me and Shivang are in that stage where it's like he'll pay sometimes, I'll pay sometimes, and it's just like that. So, but yeah, I
feel like for girls, like the reason why they wait to like contribute and stuff like that is because they want to make sure that you are like in it for the long run. You know, that's what they're doing. That they're just prospecting. That's why I say like, Harsh actually says this to people. He's like, you know, you should take people for like a coffee date kind of thing, just so that maintenance, so that you can make sure that you pay for it and then some, like you can go somewhere afterwards.
Yeah,
you can show them a different experience that they weren't expecting. They were just expecting a coffee, and then you can build up from there. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think the guy needs to show some investment, right? Because otherwise the girl's just stupid, like you know. No, for real though. Then she's just in the game. She's in the game. He has no way out, kind of thing.
No, that's so true. Yeah, I'm very lucky that I don't have to ask for like basic needs or wants where it's like already in our heads. It's like, yes, date night, we have to do it no matter what, no matter how busy we are, we'll go and do it. Like, yeah.
You want to talk about your dancing for a bit? Like, what are you trying to do? What's the plan?
I do want to open up my own dance company. Maybe
Yeah.
studio. Studio will be more in the long run.
Yeah, go to the last episode, by the way, where she talks about her dancing for like 14 years, doing like, what's it called? The recital, the
It's
recital
called,
you did for like 3 hours.
yeah, it's called Bharatnatyam, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, you basically have a recital for 3 hours, and it's like you're graduating from dance, and so I can go teach, and I can do certain things with that certification.
Yeah.
Recently, I actually just went back to my old dance class, and I saw my teacher.
I saw that, you know, yeah. Was that yesterday?
It was Saturday. It was this,
okay.
yeah. And it made me want to go back. Like I was like, should I go back and join and start dancing again? And
Yeah.
it was, yeah, it was a weird feeling where it's like, oh my God, like I missed something so much that I didn't know in the moment that I would miss it that much.
Yeah. I literally did something similar today. Like I used to play golf a lot.
Yeah.
And then my brother was at work and I was like, let me just hit some balls because he can just get me balls for free. I'll just like, hit them.
Yeah.
And first of all, it was humbling as fuck. My little brother is better than me at golf, right? He's a professional now. But second of all, like I haven't been playing really. Like I play like when we go Top Golf or something like that.
Yeah.
Or when I'm going for a date night and I'll go to Top Golf, for example, right? I've done a few of them. Yeah, no, Top Golf is like the easiest thing you can do because it's gamified. But yeah, in that scenario, because I've obviously played for years and I'm at Top Golf, like I'm obviously way better than anyone who I'm taking, right? But then when I'm like hitting it next to my brother, I'm like, what has happened to me? You know? But yeah, no, you have to be around like the things that you've curated like a deep skill and a deep passion for, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, people need to get dance lessons from you, man. Like you need to start promoting that. You need to start like putting out reels and.
No, I really do. Like I'm gonna push myself. I'm gonna tell myself maybe post like I'm gonna start like small because you know I don't want to overwhelm myself.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna do like maybe 1 or 2 dance videos a week, and then as like more time goes on, maybe once a day, maybe once every 2 days, something like that. I gotta
like,
start.
You know, just have days where you like film content for it. Like maybe like one day where you're just doing like hella videos.
Yeah.
You can like edit them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like we use an editor now, so like all of our reels and stuff, like they're done by someone else, so that we can just focus on like filming and then editing.
That's so nice. See, I like don't know how to edit. I don't know anything. I'm like very not tech savvy. I hate technology sometimes. Yeah, no, I like don't like it. I love like old school stuff, but I don't know how to edit. I have to learn. I have to watch a bunch of YouTube videos and figure that out. But if you guys have
you can just do what we did, where we just like pay someone to do like what 30 videos.
Yeah.
You pay someone like what? I think we paid them like 200 just to do like 30 videos, and now we have like 30 videos so that we can just use in between like when I'm editing them.
That's so you edit as well and someone else does?
I do the reels and CJ does the long form content.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I do like the TikTok and stuff like that. And honestly, I hate it. So the fact that I don't have to edit that much is helping me out a lot.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. That's actually smart. I don't know how people do both. Like I see people like uploading from YouTube or like uploading from their camera onto YouTube and doing all this. I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. Like I don't know where to start.
Yeah, exactly. But then like obviously when you have someone who can do it, then you can like start like that friend who you were looking at for how to speak to people and how to get friends. It's like that, right? Like you be around them for a little bit and then you can be like, I can do some of that. And now like I actually hired my friend to do the edits for these like short form content things. And he basically showed me the ropes and now I'm doing like half of it. So now I don't have to pay him £200. It was like a one-off thing.
That's so smart. I didn't even think about that. I think I'm gonna hit up a few people that I know that know how to edit, and I'm gonna be like, can I just watch you? Like I'm gonna watch whatever you do.
Yeah, do that first. Like make sure you're like on the bandwagon before you obviously start paying. But like And then if you're at that stage, just let us know, and we'll shoot you the guy's contact information.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. It's really cool.
Nah, it's cool. I want to see you blow up, man. I want to see you do.
Know. I want to see
then
too.
We'll come to Chicago, and then we'll come for a dance lesson for sure.
Yeah, you guys have to come. You guys went to New York. You guys
I went to New York.
You went to New York.
Yeah, but New York, my family's there, man. Like I had to do it. It was for a wedding, actually. That's why I went.
But then tell them, be like, let's go to Chicago. Bring your whole family.
Yeah. No, we have to do that. Look, at the end of the day, like we're obviously not gonna be like yanking each other's chain, but like when I'm in the vicinity, you know I'm gonna hit you up, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no,
if
definitely.
you're in London and you don't hit me up, I'll be pissed off. I can't lie.
I promise you, I will let both of you know when I'm in London.
Yeah, no, or in the UK, man. Just let us know.
Yeah. Where are you guys in London, like specifically?
We're like northwest. So Wembley.
Okay.
East Stadium, like near there.
Okay, I'm not too familiar where everything.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna like exactly.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. Like when you're here, we'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, no.
If it's Central, we'll definitely meet up for sure. Yeah. Like, there's no way we're gonna miss that, right? If you're gonna be in London.
No, we're gonna make some dance videos. We're gonna do some.
Oh my god, we're gonna embarrass ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Where can the people find you and stuff, man? Like, what's the easiest way to see you dance? Because they're probably like, can this girl actually dance? Like, what I've done is seen like her from this angle. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way.
Yeah. I would say Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. YouTube, I do want to start. I don't have it yet. Well, I posted one video like years ago, but I hide it and then I put it back up and I hide it and put it back up just because it's like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like weird seeing it, but so yeah, YouTube will be soon, but for now it's Instagram and TikTok and in person, whoever I run into randomly.
Yeah. Nah, cool. But yeah, no, definitely start collaborating with people because there's clearly loads of Chicago dancers, right? So.
Oh yeah, there's so many.
And we're seeing it over here in the UK. Like there's this little like dance collective right now who are just like collaborating like crazy.
Yeah, there's so many people from the UK that I see. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, especially with the hip hop dancing, you can do hip hop as well, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd be dope, man. Anything else you want to say, or like? We'll save it for part 3, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we should just save it for part 3. I mean, I'm just glad you guys, you know, asked me to come back again, and I'm very happy. And I think this one's better than the first one, you know? I feel like it's always just getting better and better.
It was a lot smoother, and I think we went into like some depth, you know? And you're definitely way more comfortable, by the way.
So. Oh, 100%. I'm like so much more.
Job, man. Good job. You know, you're doing your shit right there. But yeah, cool. The people are gonna find you. You guys just subscribe in it, and we'll see you guys another time.
Peace.